Hey guys, what's growing? It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm, and it's been a while. So this week was crazy. We had really bad weather for 3 full days, high winds, torrential downpours. So that was basically Monday through Wednesday. Yesterday, Thursday, was another very windy, blustery day, but I also had a whole bunch of stuff going on. I had an event that I was making flowers for that happened yesterday. I had a wedding that I had to drop off flowers for this morning. That's tomorrow, but it's a DIY wedding. I had 2 days of deliveries in terrible weather, so I've really got nothing done, and I'm feeling the pressure. However, the good news is there is no rain other than like scattered showers occasionally in the forecast for the next like 7 to 10 days. So it's so strange because part of me is like, oh no, it's finally the end of our rainy season. We might still get something through April, but it's also good because I'm so far behind in planting. So today is Friday. I was going to go out to the farm and plant, but I kind of need to get it done here first and get the chicken run and the chickshaw done because these guys are 5 weeks old now and they're big and they're outgrowing this brooder. And while they are not fighting yet, this space is shortly going to become way too small for them. So I want to try to get this whole project done this weekend, which I think we can. However, the kids have a state Latin convention. Both of my kids have been in Latin. We have a really big classics program in our high school. Dylan is a senior and he's been in Latin all 4 years. So he's in AP Latin right now. And Aiden is a sophomore and he's done 2 years and doing a 3rd year next year. People always ask why Latin? It's a big classics department. So they do history, they do mythology, they study texts, they speak it, they do all kinds of stuff. And then they have all kinds of events. There's 2 big conferences a year where kids from all over the state come. There's a national Latin convention. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You would never think, but it's amazing because I notice with them, whenever, I don't know, sometimes at dinner we'll be talking about something and they'll say, oh, that English word or that whatever word is derived from this, which is derived from that. And a lot of it's stemming back to Latin, even though Latin is basically the proto language for the Romance languages, and English is actually a Germanic language, so that's different. But it's really fascinating and they've learned a lot. And it actually helps them in doing a lot of their studying for school because scientific names make perfect sense to them now. So anyway, it's just kind of cool. It's a great program. Dylan has senioritis at this point and he kind of doesn't want to be involved this weekend, but he is. So it is a full day thing. So today is Friday. It starts after school. It goes till 11 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow it's 7:30 a.m. till 11 o'clock at night. Our school is hosting it this year, which is kind of nice because we don't have to travel anywhere. But it is 2 packed days. And then Sunday is cleanup because the program will be over, but because they've had hundreds of kids at the school all weekend, we need to clean up. So while the kids are there doing that, I can't have them helping me at home. So I'm going to be doing a lot of it myself. Mike will help with some of it, but he's got stuff going on too. So my main goal today is to come through here and first of all, fertilize. It's Friday. I need to fertilize everything. They haven't been fertilized in 2 weeks with fish emulsion and kelp. And then I'm going to start taking as much as I can and planting it out in the garden. Not only to free up space, because I'm already, today, this is week 13. I have tons and tons of seeds to start, which will have to happen this weekend as well. Yeah, it's just so much. I'm behind in so much. But there are some priorities. Getting things into the ground is a priority over starting seeds. Getting the chicken enclosure and the chickshaw done is a priority over starting seeds. So I'll try to balance my time, but I think it's going to be long, long hours. All of those fun hours, but long hours. All right, so I'm going to start with all the fertilizing, and then while they sit and soak up that fertilized water, which would be great because then when they go out into the garden, they'll already have a boost. Then I'm going to start hauling stuff out there, deciding what to plant and trying to get this greenhouse cleared out in preparation for the next major round of seed starting. Okay, so I've gotten a couple of flats out of the greenhouse. It's taken a lot of time to not only fertilize but to organize. So here I have chamomile, Zlati Zan. This is Baker Creek seed. I have summertime and mandarin lemon balm. And then here I have culinary sage, English thyme, and Italian aromatic sage. Here I have fine leaf chives, sweet marjoram, and sorrel. So I'm not going to plant all of those because I actually need some of them for my seedling sale. I've already got people signed up. But what I am going to do, wow. So I'm saying wow because this top tier is actually full of water, which means there's just saturation here. There's no place else for the water to go. But you can see that the herbs that we planted a couple of weeks ago are doing great. And I've actually been harvesting on these. Some of it goes to the chickens because they love things like celery, I'm sorry, not celery, parsley and stuff. And I've got catnip and all kinds of things, but I do still have plenty of empty pockets over here. So what I'm gonna do is put a selection of these herbs in here since this is my herb tower. And like I said, I'll be saving a bunch because I need to pot those up into 4-inch pots for the seedling sale. All right, so it's all potted up. I've got chives, basically put every single pocket is full. These two pockets here have some cilantro in them. Actually, this is, oh yeah, that is cilantro. Those I will replace with fresh cilantro soon. But yeah, everything's planted up. I'm gonna keep harvesting on all of it so that it continues to grow and be healthy. And even though we're gonna get some cold weather, I think it's gonna be okay. Strawberries are looking great. They totally don't mind cold weather, and so they've been doing great. Citrus, trying to recover after multiple hard freezes. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get any fruit this year because of that, but we'll see. They're still alive. This hydrangea coming back. Like it always does after the winter. That lavender looking good. And then these were potted up with spring bulbs. So at some point I'll take those out and replant. That just needs to get cleaned up and have new stuff added to it. Spring bulbs here. Once those are done, I'll plant some summer stuff. So the rest of these are going to come out to the farm. They're going to get potted up into 4-inch pots and be out there waiting, continuing to grow on while we wait for the summer, I'm sorry, for the for the seedling sale. Okay, so still to plant up today. These are all going to go in the cottage garden. I've got marigold and hollyhock and cyanoglossom and penstemon, violas, agastache, all that stuff. Those are all going in the cottage garden this afternoon, and then I'm gonna go on and plant the potatoes since we're gonna have a dry spell. And these peas, look at that, totally crazy. I'm gonna have to pinch them back, or maybe I can train them up the trellis that's out there, but they definitely have a head start on the ones that are already out there, even though these were started much later. They've been in a warm greenhouse. So I'm gonna plant those guys up, and that will probably be it for planting this afternoon before I start on the chicken stuff. Okay, so that's done. I've segregated the stuff that needs to go out to the farm. That'll go out tomorrow morning and just kind of sit in the greenhouse. I might have a chance to pot some of it up tomorrow, but I really need to focus on getting things in the ground out there first. But here, I still have lots of work to do today. So some of it's gonna be cleanup and some of it's gonna be planting. So let me show you. So here is the tulip bed. These guys are well past their prime, except for those. Those haven't opened yet. They will, I think actually what I'm gonna do is harvest them into a bucket and keep them in the garage where they'll stay cold, and then I can use them next week in bouquets. But the rest of these are getting pulled up. This bed is gonna be turned into something. I'm thinking about putting potatoes here actually, because then I can just use the whole bed, fill it up. I gotta clean up all of this, which was from this morning. I'm gonna go through and get rid of all the brassicas in here. The onions are still going. I'm not gonna clear them out of this bed. I don't think that those beets that I planted under those cloches are ever going to germinate. It's been a long time. And so I'm going to put something else in there instead. Over here, I have a couple of radishes to harvest. I'm going to clean out this bed for the most part. I think get it ready to put, I don't know what my planting plan has on it yet. I'll have to look. But I'm going to clean it all out and get it ready for something else to plant. And then down here, this lettuce and chard is struggling. It's been very cold. I don't know, I'm gonna give it some more time. First of all, the daffodils along here look really pretty, and the peonies are coming up everywhere, so that's good. Snapdragons coming along, and then down here we have a scattering of status. I'll let those guys stay. I'll probably put something here, I don't know, peas, more radishes, something. And then down here is still okay. We have starflower and feverfew, which looks absolutely beautiful. Chicken run area. Then I have this whole section of bed is open and ready for something to go in. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna put in there yet, but I might leave it open for, I think what I wanna do is turn, gosh, it's really hard to determine what I wanna do. Maybe I'll put some tomatoes down here, or this could be for peppers. I am going to take the this netting off and transplant the bigger peas that I have and train them up the trellis. going to harvest any radishes that are ready to go in here, otherwise we'll just let them stay. I'm gonna harvest that broccoli and clear that out, and then I'm actually going to clear out all of this stalk. I know it's just about to start setting flower, but it looks awful, and the stems are not going to be long enough to be good for anything. It just didn't do well this year, so I'm going to clear all of that out. That'll be bed space. Well, I'll clear it out today if I'm going to put something in there. If not, then I'm just going to leave them so that they're feeding the soil. Over here, all this stuff is looking great. So this is all filler. It is Daucus, Orlea, and Amimagus. But you can see all the seeds, all the flowers are coming along. They're getting ready to bloom soon, and I've got some ladybird visitors, which is excellent. But that also probably means there's some aphids around. I've already seen a ton of aphids in the greenhouse, in the hoop house. Oh God, I hate this hairy bindweed. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is coming along now too, now that we've got some sun. It's tough because I want to get so much stuff planted, but like tonight it's going down to 35 degrees Fahrenheit, which is cold. And so we're still not out of the 30s at night. So I can put stuff in the ground that is okay with the cold, but I'm not going to put tomatoes or peppers out here yet. They wouldn't necessarily die, but they definitely would just languish. I'm gonna leave them in the warm greenhouse. I would love to bump them up though, because they're starting to run out of space in those soil blocks. So they'll have to do interim planting. And two more things I wanna show you. This is kind of my first piece of garden art. Honestly, I was realizing I have like no garden art. And I want this to be a fun space, not just a production space. So this is a ceramic wind chime that I got off of a seller on Etsy. It's very pretty and it sounds nice when the wind blows. And then I finally, after 3 years, hung my Bush Puppy Farms sign. It's literally been in the garage for 3 years. I finally hung it and I love it, and I'm glad. It's so silly that I just kind of kept moving it around in there forever. So I'm finally going to get around to this project. Planting up these two pots that are going to go on either side of the garden gate. These are metal pots that I found. I didn't want to get plastic. So I think I showed you guys before, I've got lavender for here to be flanked by two different colors of viola. So that should look really pretty. I'm gonna go on and get this potted up, and we'll go put them in place and see how they look. Well, there we go. I'm actually happy with that. Those are pretty little pots, and it looks nice with the fence sign on there. What I'm going to plant behind the daffodils here, right along the fence line, is Baptisia, and it's in purples and pinks and whites, and so that will look really, really nice. All of this obviously will go away in the next couple months, and then it'll just be an empty bed here. Even though there are wildflower seeds in here, I don't know that they'll come up. So I wanted to make sure I could plant along the fence line to have something more attractive to look at. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.